morning. Today this team is made up of Alberto Martínez de Dios, Guadalupe del Carmen, López Isidro, Yolanda Méndez Vargas, Marina Morales Morales, and Grecia Casanova Martinez. Today we'll talk about the country New Zealand. First, I talk about stereotypes about New Zealand. New Zealand stereotypes. New Zealand is a country that tends to create an air of mysticism around it, as it is a somewhat insolent country. There are many stereotypes about lifestyle and customs. Some of the most common stereotypes are: New Zealand is not a civilized country. Carolina, writer of this article, says that this stereotype is false. New Zealand is like any civilized country. It has big cities like Auckland and Wellington, and in contrast farms in small towns with just hundreds of inhabitants. She thinks these stereotypes come from the fact that it is a small country and mostly isolated from the rest of the world, but it has all the comfort that the rest of the world has. New Zealand have their own language. Carolina, writer of this article, says that this stereotype has some truth. In New Zealand, English is the main language and is spoken by most of the country. It has a particular accent and many slang words, so sometimes it's difficult to understand. Maori is the language of the natives. There are dangerous animals in New Zealand. Carolina, writer of this article, says that this stereotype is false. The only poisonous animal that exists today is a spider called Katipo, that is in danger of extinction, so few people have even seen in the wild. The New Zealand landscape is like the Lord of the Rings movie set. Carolina, writer of this article, says that this stereotype has some truth. Most of the scenes of the Lord of the Rings trilogy were filmed in the North Island, especially in Tongariro National Park. So visiting it is like stepping on the set of the movies, but New Zealand has a wide variety of landscapes from pristine beaches that look like the tropic to desert forest and a snow-capped mountain. Carolina, writer of this article, says that this stereotype is true. There are currently 6 ships for every person in New Zealand, and although it seems like a lot, it has decreased in recent years. New Zealand, everyone is a farmer. Carolina, writer of this article, says that this stereotype is false. In rural areas, agriculture is a big part of the economy, so there are many Newlanders who do it. But the reality is that 72% of people live in cities or urbanized places, 53% of them in Auckland, Christchurch, or in the capital Wellington. New Zealand is expensive. Carolina, writer of this article, says that this stereotype is true. New Zealand is expensive. The reason for this is that being such an isolated country, most things are imported, which influence its high cost, but despite being expensive, their salaries are also directly proportional. Body language and gestures. The people of New Zealand. New Zealand society was formed as an amalgam of diversity, ethnicities, and culture, which little by little was developing a way of being. New Zealand, a unique town with its own tradition and way of life. The New Zealand lifestyle, multicultural and open to diversity, respects the right of all citizens to express and share the tradition, beliefs, and cultural habits of their roots. New Zealand values. New Zealand values are respect for equality, freedom, and democratic values, defense of parliamentary democracy and the rule of law, pride in English heritage, and respect for the British monarchy, search for justice and social peace. How do people greet each other in New Zealand? The Maori hongi greeting from New Zealand. Hongi is the Maori welcome expressed by rubbing or touching the nose. Something similar to the Western custom of kissing someone in greeting. However, the hongi is a gesture that is much more important. Hongi or breath sharing is a scared and reverent act is generally displayed in a very distinctive way. A physical exchange where two people press their nose against each other. What is the haka? The haka is a type of Maori ceremonial dance or challenge. The haka is usually performed in a group and typically represents a display of the pride, strength, and unity of the tribe. When is the haka performed? Traditionally, the haka was performed when two parties met as part of the cons of the encounter. Today, the haka is still used during Maori ceremonies and celebrations to honor guests and show the importance of the occasion. This includes family events such as birthdays and weddings. Haka in rugby. The haka is also used to challenge opponents on the sports field. The New Zealand rugby team, the All Blacks, performed the haka before every match in an impressive display of strength and physical progress. Body language, finger message. For many cultures, the tune up meaning is that is well. Likewise, it indicates that we like something, that it is worth it, and that we agree. However, the thumbs up is an often in New Zealand body language. This gesture has a meaning of something obscene or vulgar. We make the V for Victoria with the hand raising the index finger on the middle finger, and in most of the time we make this gesture when they are going to take a photo of us, but this gesture can have some other problem. In New Zealand, if you point your palm to where you when you make the gesture is interpreted the same as if we make a Spanish come. So if you want to give the meaning of peace or victory, be sure to put your palm or directly above this gesture.
Hello, good morning. My name is Yolanda. The topic is New Zealand. The religion, language, and currency. The religion in New Zealand encompasses a wide range of groups and belief. Almost half, 48.6% of New Zealanders said they had no religion in the 2020 census, and 6.7% did not make any statements. However, Christianity remains almost common religion. 37% of the population in the 2020 census identify as Christians. The language. New Zealand has three official languages. The number 1 English, the number 3 Maori, the number 3 Sign language. English is the most widely spoken language. It is estimated that 96% of the population use it daily to work and to communicate daily at home. The language spoken in New Zealand, Maori, became an official language in 1987. This Aboriginal language has seen a research in recent years. Yet remains the language of a local minority. Currency. The New Zealand dollar is the official currency of New Zealand and has circulated in this country since 1967. In addition, it is also the currency in use in the Cook, Halland, Niue, Tokelau, and the Pitcairn. The literature. Janet Frey. Janet Frey, full name Janet Patterson Frey, was a New Zealand novelist, short history writer, and poet. Some in this work were the number 1 Face in the Water, the number 2 To the Island, the number 3 Ian Haniel Hotmate Table. Michael Keane OBE was a New Zealand popular historian, writer, and biographer. He wrote or written over 13 books of New Zealand topics, including New Zealand's best-selling Penguin History, which was a New Zealand most popular book of 2004. Some of these books were the number 1 Penguin History of New Zealand Illustrated, the number 2 Death of the Rainbow Warrior, the number 3 Moriori. Katie Goldie. Katie Goldie is a New Zealander writer of children's histories. Her first work was population under the pseudonym Kate Finori. Some of these works were the number 1 Love Charlie Mike, the number 2 The 10 p.m. Question, the number 3 From the Current Room of Bernie Cottrell. This a continuation of the my classmate Marina Morales will tell more about the topic.
famous place. Hobbiton recording set for lovers of the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. There is a city in New Zealand where you can visit the record set of the Hobbiton trilogy, Tongariro National Park. Tongariro National Park is one of the best places in the New Zealand. It demonstrates the unrivaled natural beauty of the country. Waitemata Caves, formed by the pressure of the underground current thousands of years ago. These labyrinths of caves offer the visit of deep chines and the roots of underground rivers. Nepapa National Museum. The museum has more than piece of array from archaeological exhibits to pages of avant-garde and contemporary art. Milford Sounds, George. In the Fiordlands National Park, it is one of New Zealand's iconic sites. From the port of the park, there are hundreds of boats that leave daily to trail the Indian shores until they reach the Tasman Sea. But if you are looking for an adventure of another level, you can rent a kayak and explore the wonderful place yourself. Franz Josef Glacier. From the glacier park in the park lot under initial part of the monument, you can take walks with the supervision of guide to enjoy the scenery. If you have the necessary budget, you can take a helicopter to enjoy the view from above. Famous people, sport, music, art. William Trubidgey is a framing or free diving diver from New Zealand who holds the current world record in the constant wave discipline without fans. Lauren Muir is a retired New Zealand athlete specialist in the marathon event, in which she became an Olympic bronze medalist in. Bjorn Simmons, February 3, is a former New Zealand footballer who plays as defender. He spent most of his career included in New Zealand. Fitzgerald Jr. is a New Zealand actor. He is known for playing Kane Higgins on the Storyline Street and Archie Andrews on the Riverdale series. Ella Marie Harlene Jelic. Better Know Beer, his day name Lord, is a New Zealand singer, songwriter, and producer. Russell Ira Crowe is a New Zealand actor, director, film producer, and musician. Nigel John Dermot, Neil September, is a New Zealand actor and from Northern Ireland, known for his role as Damien Thornton, The Final Conflict, and Alan Grant in Jurassic Park. Martin Henderson, October 8, is a New Zealand actor best known for having played Stuart Nicholson on the series Storyline Street. Melanie James Lynskey is a New Zealand actress. She is best known for her roles as Rose on the sitcom 2 and Half Men and for her work in Up Under Air. Note that my classmate Guadalupe will talk more about the topic.
Typical clothes. New Zealand has come how to view its more traditional clothing, taking into account the military tie in habitats oceanic lands. The typical costume of New Zealand is composed of in the case of women. A brand skeleton can include various designs that represent the marble. The color varies hat. The woman also with a top hat is decorated hat in the hands with predominant colors shown as red, blue, white, and touches of green. The home has some strap. The company hand or wheel. The color is designed view the most common is to see the black with green bone, forming a short bright vermouth is used following to represent the marble pupils. The use a band across the upper part of the body accompanied by many colors but determined by the sign of the woman in the case of the decoration of the top both sex. One man and woman with a heaven until we hit making the same design of the clothes. New Zealand has come to demonstrate passion for its hazard achieving of extremely interesting convention and to car account to his exhibiting. Festival and celebration. January. Hawkroom Fall Festival. The month of January is for a festival in the different regions of New Zealand. Also the most important fall festival in the account for Fall Festival, which takes place in early January. For 2 days, the city is filled with the best music and the best peace. February Waiting. Day on February 6th, Waiting Day takes place and on the day on of the most important events in New Zealand, since it is national indolent. During the celebrations, speeches are held in the different Kiwi communities, traditional singing and dance ceremonies and events are also organized. March. New Zealand International Art Festival. During the month of March, you can discover another of the most cultural popular New Zealand festival, the New Zealand International Art Festival. Although it takes place every 2 years, of course it is last among and hosts and live music, perform, play, recite, dance, and many more cultural events. April and San. At the end April of the 25 Nueva Zelanda celebrates Soldiers' Day or Ansai Day. We commemorate the passing of the Army that part in the First World War. May Rotor Marathon. The Rotor Marathon War Beard was discovered the battle like Rotor by participants around accompanying the band in the governor Ganders and crown the Hamaru Hills to return to Rotor. On June 6, the anniversary of the Queen Elizabeth I is celebrated. A march practicing horror for British descent in additional to its official Halloween. In Halloween, there are many other cultural and sport festivals soon as the Square Week Festival. December Christmas, which ends the year with another of New Zealand popular holiday. Christmas on the New Year in as in many other countries. New Zealand also celebrates Christian Christmas, viewed as the New Year's holiday that takes on special relevance. Now to my class, Albert Martinez de Dios will thanks more about the topics.
Do you know that we're the first country to see the sunrise? We start off with the mildly controversial one as the knowledgeable among you may know that Samoa is technically the first country to welcome the new day. However, thanks to the curvature of the Earth, the North Island city of Gisborne on the east coast is the first to see the actual sunrise. It's a great place to visit, particularly on New Year's Eve if you're a party animal, as it really kicks off. It's otherwise a good one to tick off the bucket list, and the east coast is an amazing place to visit. God Save the Queen is an official national anthem of New Zealand. No one in your team actually knows this, but God Save the Queen, England's national anthem, is the first national anthem of New Zealand. As a matter of fact, we're one of only 2 nations in the world to have more than one. The other being Denmark, or more widely recognized national anthem would define New Zealand. That's all but taken over, but if you're at particularly regal event, you make her God Save the Queen in full voice. First country to give a woman the vote in 1893. One of more honorable New Zealand facts is that we were the first country to give a woman the vote in 1893. This was due in no small part to Kate Sheppard, an iconic figure in the women's suffrage movement. Her efforts in gathering 30,000 signatures for Parliament led to the establishment of universal suffrage, and for that, she can be seen on our $10 note. As well as this, we were also the first country to have our 3 top positions held by women. These were Helen Clark, Dame Sylvia Cartwright, and Sian Elias. We conquered Everest and discovered the proton. Kiwis have a great track record of being experts in the very big and very small. This is proved by the fact that we were the first to conquer Everest and first to discover the proton. The two New Zealanders responsible for the above feats were, of course, Sir Edmund Hillary and Sir Ethel Rutherford. Interestingly, they are often mistaken for being British, but they are Kiwis through and through. They also both have the honor of appearing on your $5 and $100 noted respectively. Number 5. This epic war is actually the name of a 300-meter high hill in the beautiful Hawke's Bay. What's so special about it, as you may have guessed, is that is the longest place name in any English-speaking country in the world. There are 40 syllables in the place name, which is a great one to practice to impress the locals. If that's a bit beyond you, you can use its southern name of Taumata. Number 6. Volcano Country. New Zealand is, you could say, slickly, precariously placed on what's known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. Kit a few of the are classified as still being active, including the iconic empty Raupe, otherwise known as Dome from the Lord of the Rings. On top of this, our biggest city, Auckland, sits on a large volcanic field of approximately 53 volcans. You need not worry too, as the last eruption there was about 500 years ago and is most probably unlikely to erupt again. Clearest water in the world. People often talk about our pristine scenery and clear waters, and they're not just being nice. It's actually true. The Blue Lake in the Nelson Lakes National Park currently holds the record for having the clearest water in the world. Remarkably, it has a visibility range of up to 80 meters. Its Maori name is Rotomairewanua, which means Lake of Peaceful Lands. Number 8. Our insects are big. If you're a bit adverse or have a phobia of the creepy crawlings, then New Zealand might not be the place for you. That's because our insects have a habit of being very big. One of your big examples of this is the weta, the largest insect in the world, which had hairs on its necks, lobes, carrots, and wings in a 70 grams. Another is the powerly panther snail, which has a carnivorous diet of earthworms, weighs 90 and can live for 20 years. Thanks